See, I'm a beast when you hear that sound like yeah, beat on the beat when you hear that sound like woo. Yeah, bitch and the champ only need one round like yeah, me, I'm a G-Ring here and it sound like
Mike Owens here, then joined by Oban Elliott, who returns to action. Dana White Contender Series Week 3, facing Kaik Brito. Oban, always a pleasure, my man. How are things with you today?
I'm good, mate. Same shit, different day. Getting close to the fight though, so it's time. Yeah, it's time. Nearly time. Anyway, fuck, mad.
Where's your energy at now? No, we're about 10 days away. What's the energy? What's the emotion like going into a new challenge?
But imagine how Brock Lesnar feels when he wakes up and goes out on the farm, and he's slinging dick and fucking riding his horse and all that. That's what I'm like now, mate. I'm ready to fucking go. I can't wait now.
Can we go back a little bit of a step? Can you give me a walkthrough of when you got the news that you'd be on Contender Series and what your first reaction to that news was?
I got so Shaky got Sean Shelby got in touch with us, and it was around the time where I was about to get my bout agreement off Cage Warriors to go into my main event fight in Cardiff, but they were late with the bout agreement. And in my Cage Warriors contract, it might be the same in all of them. Because in my Cage Warriors contract, if I'm not signed into a bout agreement, I can leave at any time, but only for the UFC. So this obviously falls into that bracket, and they were literally a couple of days late giving me a bout agreement. And if they weren't, this wouldn't happen.
Wow.
So, if they were on time, giving me the fucking thing. They said, "Oh, let's get this San Diego show out of the way, and then we'll give you it next week." If they'd have sorted it on the Friday, this would have never happened. Because Shelby emailed Friday night, and Shaky told me Saturday morning, and then mad.
So in another world, you've obliged to main event in Cardiff the 1st of July. I think the Contender Series runs to end of September, start of October, so there mightn't have been too much time depending on
They would have probably got me on something then, yeah, I guess.
But what I'm saying is it wouldn't have been a guarantee, and then it's like turn a different corner. It's like destiny, isn't it?
Oh man, it is destiny, mate. It is. Well, look, the career I've had already, mate. It's been so many like ups and downs, and they've all kind of led to this now. No, but my whole life has been a bit mad, and now the fact like I'm fighting, I'm like a elite fighter now. I'm like one of like a select. I'm like one in a. How many people are in the world? Like
7 billion.
How many?
7.8 billion.
So that's 7 million. So I'm literally like one in a million. I'm like 1 in 10 million to be getting on this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I literally am. This is just like, and the more I talk about it, the more like I like talking about it because it's like it makes it feel more normal. Like, but mate, I'm gonna get signed after this. My whole life is like, it's worth it. Then you know, fuck.
Are you a man who believes in things like fate and destiny, or is that
100%, mate, 1,000,000%? Because like, I feel like everything happens for a reason, especially, and I feel like that's because what I've gone through in life. I feel like if there's a draw, if you have to suffer, it's for you're paid that back in a different way. I definitely believe in that. I feel like, you know, when people are born with like disabilities or whatever, they'll have a power in something else. And like I've obviously, like me and my family, we've had a bit of a shit time. For the most part, still for the most part. I'm 25 now, but like, you know, it's rough. And anyway, yeah, no, I feel like my hardships in life have led to this, and now here I am, and I'm gonna fucking take this with both hands, you know.
Talking about where you are, we've got Kaik Brito on the 22nd of August, 16-4 record, exactly the double record of yours in terms of wins and losses, which is interesting. What is your opinion on your upcoming opponent?
He's tough and he's a professional MMA fighter, and he's I guess as you say, double my record, but they don't have amateur fights out there. I don't think he has a single amateur fight. So like his first however many fights were just against like, you don't know who they are. And my first 10 professional fights have been in the Premier League in Europe, and it's the Premier League outside of the UFC, pretty much in the world, when you're talking to like talents coming through. So like I stack up like this is but of course every fight's a 50-50 fight, but this is just like he's just another guy. This is just another fight against another guy. As mad as that may seem to, because it's a huge opportunity, but for me, this is just business now. I've been training for a cage fight, and I've trained for like nearly 20 of them. So the last 12 weeks has felt pretty normal, Of course, like the line, I just guess the limelight, the attention, and all that. Yeah, I'm fighting in Vegas. Yeah, I'm fighting in front of Dana. But it doesn't change the craft. Yeah. The craft is exactly the same.
Were you surprised when you got the call up? Because obviously we were talking off camera a week prior. You've got defending Cage Warriors champion George Hardwick on there. A lot of noise has been made that maybe George deserved the call up straight away, but that's a different conversation for a different day. Was there any surprise when you got that call up?
What, as if to say that, oh my God, I'm so lucky?
No, I don't mean that. I mean that you've got a guy a week before who's a world champion in Cage Warriors. Was there any part of you that thought I've got to win the belt?
But I got picked up for this before he did.
No, I'm not comparing you two or saying one's more legitimate than the other.
No,
I know.
Just saying. If George got signed, if George got this call up before me, and then I got it, I'd be like, fuck. But I got it first, and then, we might have had it at a similar time, but mine got announced first, or I don't know. I think mine got announced first. Did it get announced first?
Yours was first, and then it was George about 2 weeks later, something like that.
Something like that, anyway. But
because you were both in Vegas, weren't you, at the time? There's the photo of you and George, so it must have been a similar time.
Yeah. I feel like, but I found out about mine, and then when we found out about George, I guess I was like, oh shit. I'm like, not so much a surprise. I was just like, oh, they see something in me then. Because they're seeing something in me. Like, as I said, like, I'm literally one in like a million.
Yeah.
I literally am. You can't even deny that. So, when you look at who they're calling up and that, it's like, they obviously see something in me, and I'm not really surprised by that. But it is kind of mad seeing you got like a defending world champion. And we're I guess, but Burlinson, he got called up. He's not a champion either, but he's been on before, so that's different. So yeah, I guess you could. I guess I am pretty surprised, but George knows, and everybody who knows anything about this game knows like how I'm like way up there. Do you know what I mean? And everybody kind of knows that. And you can look at records and belts and all that, but like in the locker room, in like the Cage War, if you go to a Cage Warriors fight, I'm like the man around all the changing rooms.
Unless I'm there.
You are?
Unless I'm there.
The what?
Unless I'm there.
What does that mean?
Unless Mike Owens is there covering.
Oh, unless you were there. Fucking hell, I thought you were saying something else. No, I thought you were like saying like a Latin phrase. That's your fucking accent. Fucking hell. I thought you were going, unless I'm it. Sorry, bro. Yeah. Fucking yeah. Like, I've been there for my whole career. Do you know what I mean? I've done like 10 fights to them, so I'm like kind of, everyone's, So I've never really doubted myself at any point. But when you look online and see journalists writing who's better, who's this, who's that, I guess like I'm not in that conversation. But the ones who know, fucking know. Like Shelby knows. He hasn't called up anyone else, does he? He's called up like a couple of us. So
yeah,
Shelby knows, and that's all that really matters, isn't it? Let's be real.
Of course, 100%, mate. I hate to ask you this, but what are your emotions like at the moment, being one away? We've ever since we've spoke, the UFC has been the elephant in the room that we all know that you want to get to. Most, 99% of fighters want to get to the UFC. You're obviously one of them. What are your emotions like in this moment, knowing that, one shot?
Beyond laid back, mate. Laid back, horizontal. There's no pressure on me. When I found out, it was like, fuck. But it's just business now. None of it. I'm not thinking about the UFC. When I do think about it, I'm like, fuck, that's mad. But I got a cage fight in front of me, and I have spoke about it a few times, and like I've got, pretty deep on it. And when I sit down and think about everything I'm about to go through along the journey, it's meant the world. But as I'm sitting here right now, I don't care. This is just another competition. Like I've done about nearly probably 100 times since I was a little kid. This is just another little sports competition that I'm going to do. And yeah, the stakes are big. And yeah, Dana's in the front row. And, my life will change if I win and get signed. But it's still just a little contest to me.
I do wonder if that's maybe part of your success. Like I speak to a lot of fighters and they build up these moments and they have a lot of emotion around it. And you're very much the exact opposite. You're always stone cold in these situations. I'm wondering if that's part of it.
I've learned how to channel it, see. Like I do get emotional. Like I tear up a lot, mate. I'll be in the car and I'll be like fucking, and I did an interview the other day and I got real into it and I was tearing up. And if I got into it enough with you now, I probably would kind of get a similar emotion. But like, I've learned how to deal with that because I used to be the guy who made a massive deal of these fights, and you saw that. It worked for ages, but you remember the Flaminas one?
Yeah.
And it went tits up, and I made that fight massive in my head, and I've learned from that. And now every fight since, I'm like, I'm not that important. I'm not that fucking. This isn't a big deal. This is a sports competition. And as much as I'm ready to die in this octagon in 11 days, it's still a sports competition. That's the mentality you've got to have. Like Beyonce doesn't go on stage and think, oh my God, there's loads of people there. She's done it that many times. She just goes out there, sees it, thinks nothing of it, sings as if she's in the shower. And that's what makes her so good.
Yeah.
Canelo boxes as if he's boxing in his uncle's back garden in Mecca, in the middle of Guadalajara. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Mayweather, when he's in Vegas and he's got all that money on the line and he's just there, cool, calm. You can almost see his heart still like 40 beats a minute kind of thing. Oh, for fuck's sake. I do not disturb.
A little bit of a technical difficulty there, but Oban, you were talking about the kind of other inspiration you see from other athletes in that stone cold.
Yeah, it's like, about getting fighting at this level, like this is the biggest moment, but I've almost got to treat it like it's nothing. And I feel like that's the difference when you get up here. Like, because it's all well and good smoking everyone in little leisure centres and smoking people in your gym, but when the pressure's on, Paddy's another one. That popped in my head. When he's in that O2, it was like his first fight, he's got the whole crowd in the palm of his hand. But he fights like he's in the gym. And I remember I fought Flaminas. I fought like I was like a nervous. I wasn't nervous, but I fought like I was like in a rush to get it over with because there was so much on the line, And now this one, I'm just gonna go out there and focus on being as calm as I can. Because if I'm calm, I don't know how anybody really beats me.
Yeah.
Not just him, not just Brito.
And with that said, obviously you're going into a show. Obviously, we saw on Tuesday night all 5 winners get the contract. But you're going into a show where you inherently have to impress. You have to, perhaps put on a statement to get that.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Is it just victory for you? You think victory will be enough?
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about impressing him, because I feel like that'll just happen. If I'm me and I do my thing, he's gonna be like, fuck, He's gonna want more of what he sees. So like, I'm not putting pressure on doing anything differently. I've got a game plan. I cannot wait to pull out the bag. because no one's going to see really what's coming. And like, it's just, I'm not concerned about that. Like, and look, if I beat him and he doesn't, and he thinks, nah, then it wasn't meant to be, was it?
Yeah, 100%.
But that's the least of my worries. I'm even talking to my coaches and we're talking about like finishing that and be like, yeah, but you see this, you see that, and everyone keeps banging on about Brandon Loughnane. I think Dana was just in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not concerned about it at all. That is like, the focus is winning a cage fight, and I've done that 100 times. Say 100 times. I've done that loads of times. So in my sports, since I was a kid, I've done it about 100 times, and I don't want to lose to any man in a cage or any kind of fight. So my focus is on beating up this Brazilian for the whole time the fight is on, and everything else will take care of itself. That's where I am about it.
100%. Well, for one final question, Oban, you can take this question as brief or as detailed as you like. Give me a walkthrough of the perfect day on the 22nd of August.
Oh, the perfect day. It'll be about, I have a good little shakeout in the morning. I'm calm. I'll go out there. I enjoy every second of it. And I just school him and then take him out bad. That's kind of the plan. The perfect day will obviously be like coming out without a mark, but I'm literally ready to die in there, mate. So when you talk about the perfect day, it will be have a nice walkout, enjoy the fight, make sure I enjoy it so I can look back like I look back on my last one and enjoyed that one, which makes me look forward to the next. You know what I mean? You want to have a good memory of your last fight. You want to enjoy them, and come away with even half of my potential, perform to half of my potential. I'm pretty sure that'll get me the job done. But I want to perform, to my full potential on a perfect day and get that. Just show the world who I am without any little slip ups, just clean. And that is, I feel, what the universe is gonna reward me for all the shit I've been through over the last 20 years. Every little bit of shit I've been through is gonna just culminate on the end of my left hand, mate, on a tip of his jaw. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna be one of them. There's not many things things in this world that could convince me otherwise at this point.
I love it. Look, mate, it's great to see you back in this opportunity. It's great to see you get the opportunity that you deserve in many ways. I wish you the best of luck for the fight, and enjoy the rest of the weekend as you said there, enjoy the fight, because that's what you do it for.
100%, bro. Legend.